Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Kelly. I am on the Forge Inspire committee here in Topeka, and I'm also a staffing professional over at Key Staffing and Premier Employment Solutions here in Topeka. We're back for our December rendition of our monthly series, Forge Cares, where we give you a little bit of information about a community organization and let you know how you can help them achieve their goals. I've got with me today Eric Maydew, who is the area director for Big Brothers and Big Sisters here in Topeka. Eric, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Eric, so to get started off with, you've been with the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization for just over 4 years now. Tell us a little bit about what they're going to be doing around the holidays and just about kind of your overall mission and how you help Northeast Kansas and Topeka.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start with our mission per se. So we specialize in one-to-one mentorship. We rely heavily on volunteers in our community, and they give their time to at-risk youth in the way of mentorship. And so that can come in a variety of different ways. We have a lot of different programs of which we do that. One, our site-based that takes place in schools, and then our community-based, which is pretty self-explanatory. It takes place in the community where they can go to movies, go to the park, do things that they like, and all their interests, their like interests. And so, like I said, it's just a mentorship. A lot of our kids come from single parent homes. A lot of them have or have had an incarcerated parent, drug and alcohol addiction backgrounds somewhere within their bubble or their community. So there's just a lot of things these kids are facing. And the whole point of our mentors is to just steer them on the right path or keep them on the right path. And so long term, obviously, they become citizens in our community and beneficial to our community. And so it's an investment in the future, really, is what it is. As far as the holidays go and some of the things we do traditionally, and we've done this for a lot of years, we do an event called Shop with a Cop. And so that is where we take any of our waiting littles, is what we call our kids waiting, or those that are already matched in our program, and we pair them with a police officer, can be state trooper, TPD, sheriffs, what have you, and they get $100 gift card, and they shop with their big, typically a family member and a police officer for their family. And so the whole idea of that $100 gift card is for them to buy gifts for their family, gives them a little bit of a leg up for the holidays. And so we work with the Fraternal Order of Police here in Topeka to make that happen. This year, obviously, it's been quite the challenge to really get anything like that done. We initially had plans of doing that in person. That's recently changed. And just with COVID-19 and everything going on, it's very difficult to navigate logistically, keep people distanced and safe. And so we elected to actually take those gift cards, and we're going to combine them with a Happy Holidays Christmas card of sorts that we and the Fraternal Order of Police are partnering on. So they can still get that gift card and sometimes, that help for that shopping, and they can do things for their family while keeping everybody safe. And so this year isn't necessarily traditional to what we would normally do, but we're still going to make sure these kids get what they need and have a good holiday season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it sounds like you've made the necessary adaptations you need to. What can Forge members do to help with that? Are there ways that Forge members can help you achieve your missions for the holidays with regards to the donations?
So like I said, we work with Fraternal Order Police on the actual gift card side of it. So that part's pretty well taken care of. But what I would encourage Forge members and anybody that might see this message is think about how you can help impact our kids. That can come in a number of different ways. That can be attending an event in a normal year, which we hope to get back to soon. That can be making a donation online. You can mail us a check. You can call in. That's always a great option. But more importantly, and probably the most important one, is consider becoming a big. I think that giving time is just as important for these kids as giving a donation. And so if you find yourself having some spare time, and a lot of the questions we get is, how do I become a big? Am I too old to become a big? What's required? Because we're all very busy. We understand that and we respect that. So we only ask our volunteers to spend anywhere from 2 to 6 hours a month with them, a couple meetings a month. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but oftentimes these kids don't get that attention. They come from single parent homes. in those homes, oftentimes you'll find multiple siblings and sometimes multiple families. And so you can see where getting that one-on-one is very hard, not because parents don't want to, just because it's very difficult, especially if there's only one parent in the household and they're working or working multiple jobs. So there's a number of things that come into play. But consider becoming a big. I think that's probably the number one thing that a young professional in this community can consider. Time is a big part of it. I shouldn't say a lot of it, but it's a big part of it, and it's showing up. It's being reliable, and I'll be very candid about that. And so those are just some of the things that you can do to help. In regards to Shop with a Cop, naturally, we do typically need a lot of help with that, because typically we would wrap their presents after they're done shopping every year.
Sure.
And so I would say, remember next year, hopefully we're all back to some type of normalcy next year. But if you'd like to be involved in that event, you can contact us ahead of the holidays in 2021.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you've done a great job of, like you said, streamlining it and adapting as you need to. As we move in, through the holiday season into 2021, are there any goals that your team has, and if so, what do those look like?
Yeah, our number one goal, and it's been this way for over 100 years. Our agency, in the U.S. at least, has been around for over a century, which is incredible. But I think the testament to that is that, sorry, my phone's ringing. Is that we want to serve more kids. That's really what we want to do. There's a lot of kids that need us. And so we currently serve here in Topeka, we currently serve upwards of 250 kids a year.
Wow.
I would love to see that in the 300 to 400 range. And there's more than enough need in the community. It's finding the volunteers and being able to have a sustainable staff in place and things like that, so we can provide all the necessary support. And so that's probably the number one goal, especially coming out of COVID this year, is making sure that we hold on to what we have, but still maintaining the growth in terms of children served. So that's probably number one for us. We'd like to get to a point where we could maybe hire a couple more people, and that's going to be required and necessary to serve those kids, which requires, fundraising and all those fun things. And so the quicker we can get back to normalcy, the quicker we can try and grow our program here. But we've done a great job of doing that over the 4 years I've been here. So.
Absolutely. And so Forge members, if they wanted to get involved in, what would some of the activities look like that they would be participating in with their littles, if you will?
Yeah. So if they became big, there's all kinds of things you can do, and the matching process is pretty easy. Technology's really made it a lot easier for our volunteers. Back in the day, it was all paper and all kinds of different things. And now just about everything can be done through a link, with the exception of interviews and home visits and things like that. But I think one thing that I would say to our volunteers is we do everything in our process in the sake of child safety. That's what we do. And so I would say that, in our process, we try to align your interests with that of the little. So we do what's called best fit matching. And so to a volunteer that would be interested in doing this, in the community-based model, you actually get to pick your little. And so we do an interview with you. We gain some knowledge about your interests, your likes, your dislikes, some of the things you're not comfortable with. And so we take all that information, and then we go through our wait list, some of those kids looking for bigs. We find some like interests, we match them up. We find 3 of them, and you as the volunteer actually select which little you would like to mentor. So you do get a hand in this, which is exactly how it's designed, because we want this match to be sustainable and last for a long time. That's the goal, right? So what I would say is, don't be afraid of the process. Don't if you're hesitant about time and things like that, I would encourage folks to go to kansasbigs.org, select Become a Mentor, and we'll do an information session with you. No obligation, no strings attached. It's just simply learning more about our program and if it's right for you. And we understand that it's not for some people, and that's okay. But if any curiosity is there, I would encourage you to get with us and let us get you that information, and you can make the decision that's best for you.
Awesome. And Eric, it sounds like you really enjoyed working with the organization. Just talk about something, or maybe a memorable event or a memory that you can think back on in these last 4 years, something that really resonated with you.
Oh man, there's a lot of them. How I came into contact with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and this came way before my 4 years and starting here. I was actually a big in college when I was an athlete in college, and we did a program through our athletics office. And I mentored a young man named Adam when I was about 20 years old. So that was some time ago now.
Yeah.
But my wife and I actually got to do that together, being as we went to college together. And so it's just ironic that, me and my wife are married now and have been for some time, but at the time we were just dating and in college, and we both got to kind of mentor Adam together. And here we are all these years later, and I'm working for the organization. So my history with Kansas Big Brothers Big Sisters goes much further back than me actually being employed with them. But as far as memories since I've been here and been the director, I hear all kinds of great stories. The good of humanity is really what you get to see a lot of. Granted, there's some things that you don't like to hear, but there's a lot of really great people out there that I get to watch. I get to kind of stand by and watch this all kind of go through the process. My staff gets to do the processing, but I get to see the end results, which is really fun. Being the fly on the wall, which we all say sometimes. And so just watching these kids come out of their shell, how they react to their bigs, the amount of love that these volunteers have for these kids, it's pretty incredible. And it's really gratifying, just to tell a quick story. We had a father that was incarcerated, and he wrote us a letter from jail saying that he wanted his two daughters matched in our program because he didn't want them going down the same road he did. And I'm happy to announce that we just had both of them matched. And so it's those successes that I think really makes it fun to work here. It makes it very gratifying. It's very rewarding. But I like doing creative things, and this role allows for that. I love getting to know people in the community. So there's so many benefits to doing what we do. But more importantly, just seeing how these kids react and being able to help them, man. They're so impressionable. And as we get older, we get a little bit more stubborn and we get tougher to change. And so these kids are they're hilarious. They're good kids. And that's what a lot of people need to know. Yeah, they come from some tough backgrounds, but they're great kids. They're all good kids, and they need our help. So, I don't know if I can peg down one memory. There's so many, but there's a lot of the stories like I shared where they just reveal what humanity really is about, in a world where it's easy to kind of get that fog in front of you and not believe it. But there's a lot of really great people out there.
I can only imagine all the great memories you've got, like you said, from both college and then from your time working.
And I'm currently a big as well. So
are you?
I'm a big in our program as well. So I've kind of rekindled that now, and Derek is my new little dude. So
cool. So again, if a Forge member or even just a community member watching this was interested, they can go to ksbigs.org to find out more information. Is that right, Eric?
You can get kansasbigs.org.
Kansasbigs.org.
Yeah, and it's a simple website. Just click the Be a Mentor tab and follow the prompts. And quick information, you submit that, it'll shoot it over to us, and we'll get you that information session. And from there, you can make the best decision possible.
Awesome. Well, we certainly appreciate all that you're doing here in the Topeka area. I know the organization extends far, far beyond that reach, but you're doing a great job here in the community. Yeah.
And one thing I would mention that is kind of impressive. So you mentioned far reaching. So we're a national organization, over 250 affiliates nationwide. Kansas, as an affiliate, is in the top 5 for children served nationwide, which is pretty impressive when you're going up against the likes of El Paso, Texas, California, Florida, New York. There's a lot of, huge populous cities out there that, and so that just tells you a little bit of something about Kansans in general. They're very giving and very caring people.
Absolutely, Eric. Well, again, thank you very much. And we look forward to hearing more about great things that you and the big brothers, big sisters do throughout the holiday season and on into 2021 with, knock on wood, hopefully a bit of
Yeah,
normalcy returning here soon.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric.
Yep.